As we read the top part of the introduction in our business requirements document, it gives us a clue about who the actors might be in our use case design. So it talks about professional analysis, scientific research, stress testing, equipment limits, personal training, hiring staff, practice elevator equipment, things of this nature. So we're trying to design a software for professional analysis and scientific research, for example. The users may experiment with the ideas of traffic control algorithms to try finding most effective way to schedule the elevator movement, how to most effectively distribute elevator service requests. What about stress testing? Somebody may be analyzing common equipment depreciation over time, so they may try to simulate the mechanical problems of the elevators. Who evaluates technical limits? It's kind of same thing. We may have to develop how you decide how many elevators you need in the building. How often do you have to schedule irregular maintenance? Who evaluates the personal training? Maybe somebody's trying to hire an expert in the elevator system design. So if they claim to be experts in their field, you may test their skills by asking questions and running a simulation to validate their knowledge and have a meaningful discussion with them. Because these experts usually have pretty good ideas regarding the subject, but having a simulation sort of facilitates that discussion and keeps it moving in the right direction. Next question about machinery operation. Again, it's about equipment maintenance over a period of time. How many times do you need to service the elevators? Generally collect statistics, how visitor traffic in the building translates into elevator service equipment workload, finding ways to save energy, and so on. Who hires staff? So you can ask somebody who's being hired for a programming position, how would they design and implement this type of working prototype so that you can test their object-oriented design skills during the interview. Who needs to learn and practice the elevator equipment? Same as we discussed before, we want to train people on a simulator before they assume full-time responsibilities of safety, maintenance. We want people to experience this type of operation, expose them to stressful conditions where they may have to make quick decisions and act according to the rules and procedures. So this is absolutely open-ended. I think in your design you really have to make decision who would be your audience if you were working on this software, in which direction you want to steer this. You really don't have to implement every single actor I was talking about in your design, but you can just basically pick and choose a specific area like scientific research versus equipment maintenance, and definitely you have to decide who exactly these actors are. You have to give them names and you have to specify their major use cases, their interaction with the system. All right, so let's talk about the use cases. If we jump back to functional overview section of our business requirements, right here, we have these ideas. So we can actually try to keep them in view. And you see that I have this basic set of controls to input parameters of building and simulation scenario. In real life, putting all of the data on one screen would be totally impractical, including situations where if we're training people, including some users will be granted privileges to create and design the scenarios, and others may be permitted only to run the simulation. A separate use case is showing the statistics. In my case, of course, I'm showing statistics in my console output view right here. But you have to decide what types of statistics you want to collect. And by the way, our requirements document has more information about the statistic collection. And in general, prototyping clearly helps to make many of these decisions early on and clarify with your customers what's the highest priority for them. Also, this entire set of parameters may be easily split into multiple use cases, like building configuration separated from create and edit scenario. Depending on the complexity of your scenario parameters, you can model the scenario editing as a set of extensions, like for various types of elevator workload on a busy weekday versus a weekend, and also have extensions for emergencies, equipment stumbles, saving energy costs, and so on and so on. And since I'm not asking you to actually program any of this and build an actual working system with all bells and whistles, you should feel some freedom thinking about some interesting and innovating ideas. Maybe you'd like to use this as a prototype to design a game or apply it in other situations. You should just go for it because all core functionality of these requirements may be applied in so many different areas. Interestingly, general ideas about traffic control can be independently ported to other types of traffic, pedestrian cars, metropolitan city hubs, rail traffic, air traffic, because look how many of these parameters are elevator independent, so to say, like capacity, visitor load, number of vehicles, and so on and so on.